You asked me because 2 months ago I'd have a different. 2 months ago I'd have a different answer. So here's the thing. He stopped taking photos. He stopped about 1981, about 1981. That means that all of his photos. That means that all of his photos. The one you're showing, the one you showed, showing a look from inside one he took from inside the craft. Here's now. Yeah, that's pretty interesting. There's two or three. Yeah, that's pretty interesting. There's two or three. But every photo he took dating back to 1964 was taken with digital one-arm man. This never had a computer, never had a computer, anything like that. So all the claims that were made, that the photos made, that the photos totally demolished. Now here's another piece of this. Now I don't mind elaborating on that because a lot of people don't know that a lot of people don't know that all these 1,200 photos by a 1,200 man taken from 1960 man taken from 1981 or 82. I don't think 81 or 82. Now I don't think. Here's what happened. Now a lot of what happened. There was a lot of manipulation. There was a lot of manipulation. There were photos that were stolen. There were some nefarious parties. There were some nefarious parties trying to discredit them because when you look at these photos, you go, well, wait a minute. Clear. They must be darn clear. They must know they're not. The answer is no, they're not. In 1981, five other photos were taken. Not by Billy, but by the lead investigator in this case. The lead investigator in this case wasn't known until I personally discovered these photos in a warehouse in Moab, Utah. And I'll tell you, there's one of the photos from inside. There's one of the photos. There's another one. Yes. There's another one. Yes. So. These five photos, I thought they were photos from a different series. The photo you just showed, with the photo you just showed behind the jet UFO, that's the taken 1975 or 6. Taken 1975 or 6. More from that. I thought these were more from that. This is where the story gets mind-boggling. The five photos, the five that I discovered in that warehouse, were taken of a UFO interacting with the US 117 stealth fighter in June 1981. Billy didn't take those. Billy didn't. He was in the craft. He was in the craft. Extraterrestrial woman. The extraterrestrial woman who was. The photos were taken by the lead investigator in this case, who in 1969 met Meier for the first time, and met Meier for the nothing about this because it was nothing about this because it was kept in 1969. In 1969, he met Meier. And nobody has to believe this. Nobody has to believe this. They can just look at the extraterrestrial woman, and Meier, Wendell Stevens, this man, on board the craft in 1969. So that he could take those photos in 1981 and be returned to 1969. Nothing to believe. And let's just say people couldn't be time traveled. Well, couldn't be time traveled. Well, that's fine. Those photos exist. I have the duplicates, and they were taken Groom Lake, Nevada. At Groom Lake, Nevada, secret military area, F-117, and I have it on my blog. People can look. I have it on my blog. People can look at it for free. It's pretty darn mind-blowing. It's pretty darn. However, he managed to be there. In America, June. In America, 1981, and take those five photos. Was a bit mind-boggling. Was a bit mind-boggling. People now who've seen the photos. The photos. I've had contact me either or kind of hostile over the years, looking to delve into, and the Meier. I had a very interesting interaction with a man who was formerly the United States Air Force of Special Investigation, State and Department Investigator and Supervisor. He had nothing to do with UFOs, but he'd come upon this material and said to me, he didn't tell me who he was in the beginning. He didn't tell me who he was in January 17, but he said, if you're willing to talk to me about this, ask you a bunch of questions. I'd like to ask you a bunch of questions. Are you sure? Because I think he said, are you sure? Because I think and that turned into a very interesting actually demolished all of people have claimed all sorts of stuff about Billy and this man. 5 months after concluded speaking in March 2017. Reappeared. He said, "I'm going to tell you who I am." He said, "I'm going to tell you about your Billy Meier case." I'm going to tell you about your Billy Meier case. An email with photographs of all of his from the United States Air Force OSI, from the United States Air Force OSI, all of the recommendations. He said he was the Billy Meier case. The Billy Meier 100% is 100%, and I will personally, and I will take on any skeptics on your behalf. He demolished them. They went away. They went away. Then. And all sorts of other wonderful supporting, corroborated information came forward from people who had looked at people, photographs that supposedly were of the extraterrestrial women, that Meier had photographed, but had been manipulated by some other parties. We had an article on my website that Meier's original photos, he could not have manipulated, he could not have saved his life. It goes on and on. It goes on and on. Stop, just in case you actually.
That's all right. That's all right.
Why did Meier quit? Why did Meier quit talking about he encounters that he encountered?
Well, the UFO part. The UFO part important to him. Is not important. According to this information, he has been meeting. He has with these people on the meetings. Continues with these people on the meetings. He's been meeting with these people since he's been meeting with these people since he was a 5-year-old. He's been on their craft. He's been on their craft throughout his life. To him, he knew that he had to take. He knew that photos and the films and all the stuff. Photos and the films and all the stuff. The worldwide controversy. The worldwide controversy. Because his evidence is the clearest. Because his evidence is the clearest of all times. He would do that. Not fascinated by the technology, but because he knew that it was necessary. Far more focused on other. And he himself doesn't go around lecturing. He found that he was not comfortable. He found that he many years comfortable doing that. And I kind of came along. And I kind of came along. I think maybe the right time. 2004. So I got it the opportunity. Yeah.
Well, obviously, we had assistant that we had email conversation for the last couple weeks. Sent me three links to back to theyfly.com. With subject matter that you want. But I want to cover a couple of questions. Real quick, and then we can fly into those three subject pieces. One question that I came up. I come up with a dozen questions and start talking to people, and I usually only ask for one or one. But I was really wondering why are people frequently being abducted and experimented on? Like Travis Walton, Betty and Barney Hill, Stan Roman, Whitley Strieber, Phil Schneider, the whole things. And what does Meier say about this?
Well, they actually said a lot about it. I'll make some comments on the people that you mentioned, but I'll give you the overall answer. The so-called alien abductions are only in the most minute cases. You probably can count on one hand over decades. That few have anything to do with extraterrestrials. According to the information in this case, all of the rest where there actually are not phony stories or dream paralysis. Those are basically secret. The purpose of which instill or further in the minds and hearts of people on Earth to demonize anybody that comes from outside of our sphere. In some ways, understandable, because our world has a number of different factions that are quite control-oriented. Everything from government to military, politics, religion, all of them rely on a strong authoritarian, strong control, and it was long ago also by certain elements in government, that the human beings of Earth, and especially of America, handle the reality of other beings over whom we have absolutely zero power or control, being able to come to our world, roaming the skies, and be freely roaming the skies should they want to. It's pretty obvious. That if such beings exist, that they have the technology, that they have the technology, if they to have destroyed or taken long ago, that these people that are called the Pleiadians, that are known to many people, that are known to there really are no Pleiadians, there really are no Pleiadians. They could have done this eons. They could have done literally eons ago. Literally, either when they began contacting Meier, of the prophets, or any of our past history, of our past history, they were in contact. Now they were in contact. Jump away. Just to jump away. I have seen zero that Whitley Strieber has been abducted by anything or anybody. Betty and Barney Hill is an interesting story. The Meier material, did not actually get abducted, did not actually had another type of an experience. Had another type of an experience. I do not know. Met Travis Walton. My own feeling about him was that he was an honest person, and that he had some kind of an experience, even though he couldn't for sure, even know certainty what it was, but it was certainty what experience. I don't doubt. I don't question. I don't doubt. Most of the people. Stan Romanek has zero evidence. Stan Romanek has zero anything of extraterrestrial origin. But that does not the possibility in some cases that certain people let's say influenced to believe that they've had an extraterrestrial abduction. Certain parties intimidate people or make them feel like something otherworldly has happened to them. I interviewed former Army Ranger had also been involved in secret weapon technology in Arizona, and he told me that he and his Army Ranger go into, let's say, a town, go into the middle of the night, in when people were sleeping, they could pump a gas into a home. They could really put people very out, and they could mess with them in some ways. That mess when they woke up, they would think that they had been abducted. They would think that they had been abducted. I've got this video on my channel. I've got this video on my channel. Story. It was a very interesting story. The point being, there really is no good reason any advanced race that could come. Perhaps hundreds of light years across the universe is going to come here. To try and float Aunt Edna out of the window, and Uncle Joe through the window, and Uncle Joe and experiment. You're talking about these races. Any of these races have to be very long-lived in order to have progressed through space travel, maze travels, excursions over long periods of time. There's plenty of arguments against it. There is a tremendous amount of government generation about that, and as we are seeing currently, lots of Pentagons about extraterrestrials and UFOs. That's also in the mix. That's also in the mix.
That's the question. Question. Trump signed had language in it that had language in it. Government would disclose UFO or UAP knowledge in 180 days. Give or take now. What does Meier have an opinion on that?
Well, I have the opinion. And the opinion I have is that it's utter garbage. And I'll tell you why. There are a number of people who have been involved, mentioned, given information, certain Pentagon and government sources. And I'll explain the government. There's a man named Christopher Mellon. There's a man named Christopher who has been involved in the intelligence, and he comes from a very prominent, super powerful banking. Now, supposedly he gave information so-called investigators at a newly website called the debrief. People are a fellow named Micah. Tim McMillan and DJ McMillan and BJ. I believe it got Benias. I believe it got. In addition to these people, there is a guy named Lou Elizondo. Lou Elizondo is also former, supposedly, if you will, who joined up with a young rock and roller. Tom DeLong formed an organization called To the Stars Academy, which seems to have its main claim to have its ability to raise a lot of money. That organization, Elizondo, in addition to Elizondo, has perhaps at least a half a dozen other so-called formers in the driving position, in the driving position. So let me explain to you about this nonsense. When you look at the Pentagon's Tic Tac video, whatever they call it, from a 1970s video, you look at Billy Meier's photos. Films. Look at his video, and you know that you're looking at things beyond this. I have personally sent to everybody I mentioned just a moment ago, and everybody else. I have sent Meier's evidence. Which includes all this photographic stuff, as well as some of the stuff we may talk about, the prophetic information. One of these people will acknowledge. Now, why would that be if tell us the truth in 180 days? It's because they're not, and we don't need them. If anybody wants to, if anybody wants to, they go into and they can find out what the truth is. And they can contact me to say, they can contact me to say, my challenge, here's why it can't be true. What do you have to say? What do you have to say? And I've done this part of it for 20 years. We are being fed more nonsense. The reason we are fed that nonsense is because they know that people don't think critically, that they will either become fearful, they're going to believe whatever, but they're not whatever. But they're not going to putting out that we've been putting out. Has been putting out his photographic evidence since 1964. So who needs it? And who needs it? It will continue. And they will continue to ignore. They will continue to ignore. You looked at all the stuff and that you looked at. Your viewers can see. Your viewers can see. So, and all the point, if people freely available, maybe they'll stand up to this nonsense, or stand up to this nonsense, or they'll start questioning these people. One of these people will acknowledge the Meier case, even though the Meier case. Tom DeLong uses Billy Meier's UFO photos. When you, for instance, the photos that you're showing, reproducible to this day. They're the most amazing evidence. They're the most amazing evidence of the universe, other beings in the universe, and all the ufology notwithstanding. This will remain the best evidence. For all times. Because extraterrestrials are not about to come down and land and try to interact with us or any of that other. We have the best evidence. We have the best evidence, and it gets even better as in our conversation.
I actually have one text question. Five of the guys in the Travis Walton case passed a lie detector test. Would Horn and Meyer be willing to do the same since they are telling?
Well, Billy Meier and 16 other people took lie detector tests. This was some years ago when and his Wendell Stevens, and which included a couple named Lee and high-level counter-espionage, telecommunication security went with skeptics, and they had Billy Meier and people who were witnesses of the people who were including his ex-wife, who's take lie detector to him now. Every one of those, including Meier, came out, including Meier, came out 100% honest, including the ex-wife, including the ex-wife of the ship, saying that she'd seen the ship, one of the extraterrestrials, she'd seen one of the extraterrestrials in her living room, which so and I, you know, so I don't have any, and I've had seven sightings of UFOs, only 3 of which UFOs, only 3, one of which I'm monitoring craft from monitoring craft from, and it wasn't play iron, and it wasn't the mountains of Brazil. I was living in the mountains of Brazil. And 10 years showed up, and I asked Billy the next week, and I asked Billy the next week. I had 2 other sightings in LA. I had 2 other sightings in LA that I think were 4 other sightings in LA and in Arizona that I LA and in Arizona that I were secret military. But I have no problem. I have no problem. Somebody wants to administer. All I can tell you is this is what I know. This is what I know is true. This is what I don't true. You know, this is what I don't. Mainly, what I don't think is true is all the mainly what I don't think is true is all the accusations. It isn't even about Billy. Certainly not about Billy. Certainly not about me. It's about people. How other people to process, examine, process, and examine information. This information, and what evidence they determine from it. They determine from it. Some people may say, nope. Some people may say, nope, I can't handle whatever. Other people say, well, whatever. That's pretty interesting. Tell me more. That's pretty interesting. Tell me more. And this is not, you know, this is not. You don't have to join anything. You don't have to join anything. You don't. Billy Meier's not anything. Billy Meier's not. This is just. You're looking at another. You're looking at another shots. I think on another craft. This is craft. This is unequaled in human history. Anybody gets in human history. And people that don't know, and people that don't know, so exposed. Because we've been so exposed to the internet and to Photoshop. The internet and to Photoshop. A guy named Joe Rogan. A guy named Joe Rogan book from Billy Meier. He has the photo book from Billy Meier. He said. And it must be Photoshop. Even it must be Photoshop. Even Photoshop ever. When Billy took Billy took all these photos. So really, people. They have to work through this. I don't mind. They have to work through this. I don't mind. All my email. I answer all my links, whatever they want. Because links, whatever they want. You said before, Shawn. As you said before, Shawn. The key to our future survival. The key to our future survival. The title of my 2004 DVD on the Meier context. DVD on the Meier context. And that is true. Even more true. Just today. It's very, very important. The UFOs important to that. The UFOs you can take the UFOs completely because I call scientific information here the higher standard here. The higher people can argue. People can argue UFOs that have analyzed these photos have been looked at by photos have been looked at by special effects experts. I personally took his photos and films. Took his photos to the owners of the special effects company called Uncharted Territory. They won the Academy Award. They won the Academy for Independence Day Special. For Independence Day Special. I showed them one of his films. Can you duplicate? Can you duplicate? Well, yeah, we could duplicate it. We just we could duplicate it. How was it done? We have to use CG. How was it done? Outside with his camera. The man was outside with his camera. They said. Unless he's got a crane or something. That's not hoaxed. That's not the same thing was said years earlier. Same thing was said by the man earlier named Wally Gentleman, who was the special effects director for Stanley Kubrick's 2001. Same thing. 2001. I can duplicate. Same thing. I can duplicate people and 50 grand. Crew of 15 people and 50 grand. So people look at all. Anybody can do. People look at all. Anybody can do. It's just a model on the string. We have analysis. We have analysis freely available. We put it all freely available. We put it all so that people who are technically minded, so that people who are technically minded, how the analysis is done, what the criteria. What the equipment, the criteria, what the parameters, they can try to debunk it, or they can try to debunk it, or that being said, I know of a skeptic. I know worked with him to try to help. I even worked with him to try to help. There's a skeptic in London who is a really good model maker. Who is a really good model. So he made models Billy Meier, and they look really good. And they look really good, except pretty clearly small models, pretty clearly camera. Small models, and he knew he would never have them tested. He would never have them tested because that's a small model. Myers, when they were computer analyzed, when they were computer large objects. These are large objects from the camera. Distance. Many of them are near other. Many of them are near other houses and trees. Like houses and trees. They're real. Sorry, folks. they're real. I don't know if that answered I don't know, but lie detectors fully, but lie detectors by Billy Meier and by Billy Meier. As a matter of fact, and all these other people. As a matter of fact, in some of the old books that put out, they actually have those put out. They actually have graphs reproduced for the lie detector tests along with the lie detector tests. So they were trying to. I tried. So they were trying to. I tried to 4 times in 3 years. 4 times in 3 years with one question. Just making this stuff up because if I'm going to represent something, I don't want to represent something real gray area. Could be some real gray area. He had the same answer without any. He had the same answer without any hesitation. And I just experienced it. This is an honest man. This is an honest, good guy. Honest man, guy. Nice man.
Obviously the white elephant in this course of question and answer session. Wedding cake photo of wedding cake UFO.
Yep.
The wedding cake
UFO.
Yep. Care to go through that because out of all those photos, movies, and that looks like the most hoax. That looks like the most hoax looking.
Even a couple of the investigators said, doesn't look right. It just doesn't look right. Here's one of the things, and this isn't. Here's one of the things, and we might even have it in one of the films. We might even have it in one of the films. The sounds of this craft. The sounds of this craft were played for an engineer without showing him the photos. Without showing him the photos. What generate this? They said what drew out generate this, and what he drew out would probably be required to create all these sounds. Required to create all these sounds, and it got this wedding cake UFO. So let's go wedding cake UFO. Myers go into this. 64 photos, 64 and at least one video of this. Only one video of this. Only one video. And the video is very interesting. And the video is very interesting across an open field and across an open field in broad daylight. And this thing is hovering right. And this thing is hovering right next to a tree. Certainly this. Now this certainly Christmas tree ornaments and Christmas tree ornaments and can't be real. Good gosh, it's so naturally the skeptics. So naturally the skeptics attack ornaments and Christmas tree ornaments. Blah blah blah. Well, blah blah. A couple of guys who are pretty handy with computers. One guy who goes by the name Raul. His name is Francisco. His real name is Francisco Vilate. So he's in South America. He's in South America. Another man named Chris Locke, who's in Japan, a photographic expert. Japan, a photographic expert. Did a 74-page analysis. And they used not the 1970s and 80s technology that the earlier investigators used state-of-the-art. They used state-of-the-art from a couple of years ago, and Google years ago, and they used Google Earth and all, and they used down. They could triangulate down, calculate the size, calculate distance. The photograph you're looking at revealed an enormous amount of information. Now I will tell you right away. That I am not a photographic expert. Part of what you will find, in that documentation, from Chris and Francisco, detailed analysis pertaining to the reflections in these globes. What we see loosely here is what's called a carriage house. Which is from the vantage point of where these photos were taken. Photos were taken 15 feet away from this object. 15 feet away from this object. That carriage house is behind. That carriage house is behind. When you go into their very detailed analysis, and they show, and they use other things, and they show, and they use other things to show. Had this been a small model, globes would have to have been a certain size, which would affect of the reflections of the behind the photographer, of this, etc., in great detail. Now, people have to just to say, it's a garbage can lid, or it's a garbage can lid, or that really isn't sufficient. That really isn't sufficient. And read, I did read the analysis. And read, I did read it above my pay grade. Stuff in there, it's above my pay grade. I have to read it again. As I read, I got what they were saying. As I read, I got what they were I stood in that spot. There was no craft there when I stood there. Craft there when I stood there. I'd been times. 20 years, like 20 times, and I've been all over this property. I've been all over this property. I've been other places where the photos were taken. It's like you realize that you can't. You write this off as some clever trick when the analysis pertaining to these reflections is so thought-provoking, and they show you And they show you set up your own model. How you can set up your own model whether or not to determine whether or not small model and these are small model and these are, or if you're looking at something maybe, or if you're looking at something diameter, 14 or more feet in diameter, globes with and large carriage house behind, and there's this carriage house behind. And so I would never say to people, I would never say to people, I could say read. I could say it's real because everything else is real because real. Everything else in this case is real, right? So go ahead, right? So deal breaker for people. This is the deal breaker. Should go in and it should go in and at least that analysis. That was 74 pages. That was 74 pages. Believe me, you can't do a 74 page analysis. You can't do a 74 page analysis of models. Photos of models.
So all this, all this that we just discussed is on theyfly.com.
That and on theyfly. That and on theyfly blog. The analysis like this. The analysis like this. On theyfly.com. On theyfly.com.
You referenced just you referenced Meier recording. Meier recording.
Yes.
While we were talking about this, which you were gracious enough to share with me. I'm going to try to radio listeners. About 10 seconds. About 10 seconds. This is a 36-second recording that I'm going to. But I'm going to share about 10 seconds. I'm going to share about 10 seconds of the recording. So here we go. I would go on, but that would be considered dead sound on the radio. That would be considered dead sound on the radio.
Yeah.
That being said, what did the skeptics come up with?
Skeptics. They said, well, that's just a fishing line. Well, that's just where somebody's rubbing their hand against. Where somebody's rubbing their hand against it. The problem. And I wish I still had it. And I wish I some years ago showed some years ago showed of the analysis graphs of these and showed an analysis and showed an analysis running your finger along a comparison. Fishing line. There was no comparison. Meier actually made four recordings, and he did them outside, in the presence of as many as 17 people, including an underground, undercover. These were made on Iowa cassette tape recorders. They were taken to four different sound labs, including the sound lab. I think it's Connecticut, the Naval Undersea Connecticut, the Naval Undersea. They have a sound. And they have a virtually bank. Every sound made by almost anything in the world. And it was huge. Again, this was done some years ago. Again, the analysis from them was, they could not find any. They could identify in one of the things. There was an airplane that flew by. They were able to accurately identify the sound by the engine called. I think it was called German Volker. German aircraft. They identified aircraft. And they identified some other ambient sounds. And they identified some other ambient sounds. They had nothing on record. They had nothing on record. Interesting about it. What they were interesting about when the investigators went to one of the labs, they found that there were 24. They found that there were simultaneously very discrete, that created very specific graphs. They were not random. They were not random. They all were very specific graphs. There were patterns. Something to do with overtones. Something to do with eight more sounds that weren't quite in the audible range. I wasn't sure that I understood that. I wasn't sure that I understood that. I met one of the sound engineers, a guy named Nils Ragnar, years ago, and he was one of the people who did the analysis. He was one of the people who did the analysis. And all these people said, and all these didn't know what that was. So didn't know what that was. So I forget which place, because I also had recorded music. I also had years ago in the Excalibur, recording the Excalibur in Los Angeles, where they also analyzed what they and they said we a series of computers, at least at that time, maybe generate all these sounds. I don't know how many sounds. I don't know how many has. They said, but we can't. They said we produce those sounds with our equipment. That becomes another one of these. That becomes another one pieces of evidence. Evidence. This man. Here's the thing. This man Meier. If he was a hoaxer, Meier was. He was a hoaxer. He's smart. Why? Not very smart. Why? He voluntarily turned over all the evidence, photographs, the film, the video, the metal samples, the metal samples, the sound of the investigative team. He even suggested on the metal samples that he had been told by his extraterrestrial that there was a very brilliant scientist at IBM, named Marcel Vogel, who would be a good person to bring the metal to because they would find out that these were not process at all, by any process at all on Earth. And he did a video on Earth. Marcel Vogel video, and they said, "Geez, this isn't made here." He's showing these. This isn't made here. He's showing these. He says, "Here we have laser cuttings. Here we have laser cuttings. I don't have any. We have metal that is at the same time. Metal that is at the same time." He goes on and on and on. He says, "Look, he goes on and on. He says, look, available to me. I can't make this. I can't make this." Now, what does this mean? What does this mean? People can be skeptical all they want. People can be skeptical all they want. It doesn't bother me because as the meaning of this case, people may want to look at it to start to look at it for the sake of their own survival, even as it pertains to the pandemic. Now, so we have pulled a thread. We've pulled a thread on an amazing sweater that keeps unraveling and opening itself up.
Well, we'll go down the pandemic second. One question from the YouTube. Why does the picture of Billy Meier? And Pata, correctly, taken in December of '75, exactly matches the movie Mouse on the Moon, from the movie Mouse on the Moon '63, which was filmed. Meier time travel again? Did Meier time travel again?
The honest answer is that Meier took photos. Explain it. That Meier took them. They want to jump all over it. They want to jump all over it. How people can be shown the most amazing ever see in their life. But they will look for something to discredit it. Give you the answer because we can substantiate. In 1975, during the early stages of that particular generation which continued to this Meier was taken. According to the information, on a journey where he has taken many places outside of our solar system, and outside of our shown many things. He gets to take hundreds of photographs. He gets to take hundreds of photographs as well. Some films, and he comes back and. As I said, Meier is not that himself in the photographic stuff. He never developed one. He took photos. He took the films and photos. The camera shop. Took them to the camera shop. Dropped them off. He'd send him photos in the mail. He'd send him photos in the mail. He'd take them out of boxes. He'd put them in shoe boxes. Okay, and then he started to put them into. What he did not know. What he did not know was that until a couple years later. Now I'm talking 75. These photographs and films intercepted the camera store. And the Kodak process, and the Kodak and process, what we are told in this case again. This was done by people CIA. And CIA places CIA was very actively these contacts, picking up the investigators and interrogating the investigators and interrogating them. Their own facility. They had it right up their own facility, right up above Meier's property. Are no longer there. So here's what happened. So here's what happened. In 75, Meier is told that two of the women. This is just to fill in some blanks, just to fill in some women whose names are Asket, Billy, because Billy during some he's taking some photos of them on the ship, and Pata, and says Pata In America, there are two women who are in the show business doubles for these women. Doubles. He says, "Well, great, I'd love to go." He says, "Well, great, I'd love to go." And Tom says, "Okay." And no, for certain reasons, we're going to leave that alone. Why? What's wrong with that? Billy's going, why? Well, what's wrong with that? What they knew at that time, and they knew at that time, and they told Meier just between 76 and 78, between 76 and 78, they said, and the films from your trip were intercepted. They were manipulated, even though we thought you would receive the genuine stuff back. We didn't see any reason why they are not what you took. They are not what includes and the photographs includes women photographs, Esket and Nira, which have been falsified. Other photographs in here, seeing dinosaur life in other worlds and dinosaur life in other worlds and things like that. People can say, "Oh, it can't be true." Whatever. People can say, "Oh, it can't be true." Matter. Doesn't matter. This whole thing, going back 33 years, when they tell Meier. Unfortunately, he's been manipulated. It's not accurate. He left stuff in albums. And until fairly recently, they didn't bother taking stuff out. To him, this isn't the proof of the case. To him, this isn't the great stuff he got to see. It's great and photograph. He got interesting things. Photograph interesting things. That isn't what's so important here. You have to understand as well. It's true. Let's just say if it's true. It's true. Let's just say if this man has been for 74 years, meeting with human beings from another world. That's the most important discovery event. Whatever you want to call it, in science. Whatever you want to call it, in science and human history. That's not exactly to all of the powers that be. To all of the powers that be. What this guy is going to ruin everything. Meier has survived not only all this. He survived 23 attempts. He survived 23 attempts in 40-some years. I've seen 40-some years. I've seen eyewitnesses to at least 14 attempts. And we documented in one of the other films. I don't think you saw it. All the stuff about it. People want to kill the man. People want to kill the man. Recently is today. I'm getting hateful. A guy on a video channel where they put up stuff instead of asking. This man's a fraud. He's a hoax. This man's a fraud. He's a hoax. Ever been over there? No. I just found material. No. I just found material. It's interesting you say that. It's interesting you say that. I've researched, got 22 years of research, and never seen anything indicated. Never seen anything. How do you? I've talked. How do you? I've talked. I've had astrophysicists who authenticated the information. Be my guest at one of my presentations. He got up and spoke to this whole corporate crowd, telling him why he and other scientists working with that he's know that this material is accurate. And they made scientific things about science, hyperspace propulsion, zero point energy. Either people are ready for the truth or they're not. We're not here to twist arms. We're not here to twist arms. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. But the people that fill the internet. David Wilcock. I could name a lot of them. Believe me, I'm not shy about it. I called them out at events where they were speaking. They have no evidence. You'll find they've got billions of people following it, and they think that people following it, and they think these guys are telling the truth. They think these guys are telling the truth. They're all lying. And to a person, I don't mind saying that. Now, by the way, let me just. What I'm saying has no reflection. What I'm saying has no reflection. These are solely my opinions. These are solely my opinions. Nobody has to take any agree with it. Nobody has to agree with it. I've just taken heat myself. And I stand up for this man, Billy Meier, because all these skeptics have been coming at him for years. Not one of them has ever been able to debunk anything. Everybody wants to attack a man. Everybody wants to attack a man who's really trying to serve humankind.
Well, let's see. We got a question. What about Phil Schneider and his documentary crowds? And he got up in front of crowds and being fired upon by aliens. And underground.
Well, Here's my thing. Well, I've never met Phil Schneider. I never met Phil Schneider when he was alive. I've heard stories. And my problem is this. And my problem we would have to believe that so-called aliens have for some preposterous reasons decided to work underground. United States military, carry their little lunch trays around, and that they've made. And that they made with the government, deals with the government to abduct people. Listen, if there's extraterrestrials, they come here. And if they did abduct anybody, and if they don't need our permission, don't need our permission. Why would there be gunfights underground? Gunfights underground. The stuff doesn't pass. The smell test for me. The smell test for me. The projection of extraterrestrials, extraterrestrials, or aliens working on behalf of the U.S. working on behalf of the last thing on earth they're going to do. The last thing on earth they're going to do on behalf of anybody's military. They see what's coming. They see what's coming. They know the things that are. They know they have made the most accurate predictions. They have made the most accurate predictions for over 70 years. Here's the thing. They discredit the evidence. They discredit the evidence. Whoever wants to say that, make your statements. If you wanted to ever debate, before you would do that, I would ask you to really do diligence, because that evidence is iron. People that say, I discredit the evidence. People that say, I discredit the evidence. What? There's volumes of it. There's the guy says here, I'm looking at it. The guy says here, I'm looking at it. These things have a certain knack for making sure there's little to no evidence left. Really? Let alone I have a book. Really? I have a book with 617 UFO Billy Meier's. I have a website that's got. I have a website that's got different independent analyses of the sound recordings. Analyses. I link to a place where there's a place over 90 eyewitness interviews. People who had multiple sightings. People who had multiple sightings. 5 other photographers. Here's the thing. People, if they're going to want to try to, if that's their motive, it's a poor motive. Find out what's true. Find out what's true and what's false. Use the best analytical skills. When you've got a guy, that approached me, like this man that approached me, what's his name? Joe Tisk. What's his name? Joe Tisk. 3 years ago. Long ago. Almost 4. 3 years ago. Who was a skeptic and the top investigator for our top United States Air Force Office. United States Air Force Office. This guy, he laid it out. He laid it out really clear layman's language. How people could determine the truthfulness of Meier's. We still have a dozen of the photos. In 1964 in India. 1964. One of them has a hologram. Projected in the sky above Meier's head. It's so staggering. I will guarantee you that anybody that's interested in UFOs and wants to criticize the Meier case has never applied that type of critique to any one of the other people if they believe from Stephen Greer, Corey Goodman, you name one piece of evidence, and we have hundreds, The sound recordings you played, the that's physical evidence. That's physical evidence. The photos, the film. The photos, the higher standard of proof of prophetically accurate scientific information. Maybe as we speak tonight, I'll tell people how they can click on the link. In the comfort of their own whatever, and take 3 minutes online, and realize that this case is real, based on prophetically accurate information about COVID-19. Ironclad. Yeah.
Okay. So what I was going to do is kind of dedicate, kind of talk about the UFO stuff. Kind of talk first hour and the second hour. We'll hop into this COVID-19 stuff that I've seen you talk about. On YouTube channel. Over there, They Fly TV. They Fly TV. So we can leap into the COVID-19. We can leap into the other thing is policies change dramatically. Has changed dramatically. So obviously, folks, looking into COVID. Looking into COVID, look at the World Health Organization, and also CDC. Your mainstay of knowledge. Breadth and width of that being said, we'll be talking about COVID. You need to take a break.
Sure.
You need to take a break.
I'm fine.
Okay.
I'm fine.
Well, folks, you're listening to Chasing Truth. You're listening to Chasing Truth on Dark Web FM out of New Orleans, UPRN Talk Radio. And then also go to imdarkwaters.com, and if you like anything that has to do with Krypton's Dogman, and that's the place to get. That's the place to get. Back to our guest, Michael Horn, which he's a representative. We're going over the Billy Meier story, which decades, a lifetime. This gentleman, Billy Meier from having Switzerland. Ongoing contact. He had ongoing contact with aliens. With aliens, over a span of this gentleman's almost 85, like 84, almost 84, actually, almost 84. Okay, actually, almost 84, almost 84 now. And he had a few years. He had a few years. He did not have any contact. He did not have any contact from there. What stopped the contact there? What stopped the contact and what started?
Well, one of the things is that he had one of the things Billy Meier had. Billy Meier had than anybody you can even imagine. He's had of course he had most of his left arm ripped off his body in an accident in 1965. He's had tinnitus. He's had rheumatism. He also had a bad fall, which damaged his brain. He had to, under his own mental reconstruct so that he could function, so that he could regain all of his abilities, all of his power of his mind. I have another virtually eyewitness report on some of that. He has had times in his life when he's had extreme things, and then once he was functioning fully, back to the contact resumed. The contact resumed. They were going on. They're going on to this day. It's very easy to prove. Anybody can do it. And what you've got is an out of this world situation. That no matter what, when United States Air Force guy, I was talking to him once. He may even have it in the article. He said to me, "You know what?" He said to me, "The most amazing thing isn't that this is true." He said, "There's no question. He said, there's no question. The most amazing thing Billy Meier could have hoped. Billy Meier could have hoped. When I read these scientific information, these hundreds and hundreds of pages, he says, I couldn't get a team of guys I know from a dozen military intelligence to do it. And this one guy who's taken these photos, all this evidence, all this writing, all this stuff, also writing all this stuff. He says if people can't get that this is real. Oh my gosh! You just have something that is pretty much many people outside the realm there of comprehension.
Thank you for being with me for the first hour, Michael Horn. For sure. The next thing is you want to go ahead and take some calls. You want to go ahead and take some calls as we leap into predictions that Billy Meier has come across in the last 8 years of his life.
Sure. It should be fun.
All right, folks, if you want to call in and ask Horn a question, the number to call is 931-994-6917. If you want to be a part of the show, that's how you get to us from there. If you'd like to us from there. Hold on just a second. Let me put that up on the screen over on YouTube, and for all the fine folks that are listening elsewhere in New Orleans and New Orleans Radio. Paranormal Radio. Numbers 931 again 994 6917. Lines are 6917. And lines are open. So I saw a few of the predictions. Billy Meier predicted that Billy Meier predicted that AIDS was coming forward not the near future, actually, not the near future, actually. I think he predicted that. I think he predicted that.
That's correct. That's correct.
And he actually named that, I believe. Correct?
Yeah, he named that. Yeah, but go ahead. But go ahead. You're on it.
So, what is he saying about this pandemic?
Well, this is enormously fascinating, and it's frustrating information, and it's frustrating at the same time. Because I haven't, apart from my own videos, I haven't talked about that much. Here's about it, but. Here's in 1989, in 1995, and 1990, Billy Meier verifiably foretells lung disease that will come out of a Chinese bioweapons lab. Clear as day. We've got that in document. We've got that in. Now that wasn't for this version. That was called SARS. It came out in 2003. It came out in 2003. And indeed, it was traced to that laboratory in Guangdong, Billy Meier specified. On January 23rd, I was in San Diego, California, CBS TV morning interview about the Meier interview, and about the Meier case was about the time that COVID stuff was beginning to starting to pop up, as I recall. And the woman that was interviewing me, said to me, there were controversial things. And said there were controversial things. And I said, yeah. I said one of them has to do with this. I said coronavirus. Now, Billy Meier foretold that. Billy Meier told that little story. You're going to told that little story. Now on February 20th. I published a little more information. Then on February 23rd, I received from Billy Meier and I was over for a day because I was a little hesitant at first to put it on the blog. I wanted to make this was going to be really it was solid stuff because it was solid stuff, pretty amazing. I'll give you some of the. I'll give you some of the points that were covered in it, so people can understand. Anybody can understand. People you can understand. Then we're going to start to see what's. Then we're going to start. Here's what was in this document. Here's what was in some of the bullet points. As some of the bullet. This is already a pandemic. As of this time. The CDC and the WHO did not. Confirm that 16 days later on March 11th. Anybody can look. We were told that we should not travel either in mass transportation, public transportation, any kinds of airplanes. Ships. We should stay. February 25th. February 25th, only 57 cases in the entire country. They're telling us, stay home. Now they're saying, in this document, the real number of infections and deaths are already reported. That the actual incubation period up to 4 weeks to 3 months. We don't even yet recognize that we now know. Within the last 2 months, somebody discovered. This has gone on for 3 months in February, and that this is spread. And that by asymptomatic people. We're the first to publish it. Contaminating. And contagious through the air. Contagious through the breath. Through clothing. Okay. Food. And that most breathing masks people are going to use. Those are the surgical masks. They're not effective against virus. They're not effective against. I have information on. We are about to announce. One of the people we know. Has made a deal with the manufacturer of a truly antiviral mask. I'm not here to worth plugging, but I want to go through worth plugging. But I want to go through that the only real protection, our full body protection protection, our full body and breathing apparatus, there should be hermetically sealed, quarantines, where the personnel, full body suits and all that, and it must be longer and it must be long incubation period. Otherwise, medical facilities are inadvertently becoming breeding grounds. True, this happened. This is true. They already told us in February. Asian races be more susceptible, but virtually everybody, and that the virus will become more aggressive because of seeing that already. Of course, for a while, seeing that already. Here was the most interesting thing we got. Children will be mainly immune. But they are the main spreaders of the disease. And eventually they will no longer be immune. This is going to go. This is going to go. That was predicted actually on February 3rd. That's already been corroborated on. That's already been corroborated on. In France, July 9th, in France, the first infected child. The U.S. suppressed China and the U.S. for political and economic reasons. And the WHO is culpable for not proclaiming a pandemic. This is all February 25th. We have February 25th came after that. We have so much that will knock your stocks off, and that will knock your stocks off. And as I said, there's a little online. And as I said, there's a little online. Anybody can get to all that. Anybody can. People can argue all day long. People can argue all day long about UFO photos. Copyrights are you walk into a courtroom with copyrights. And I know that. It's been done from everything. Books. It's been done from everything. Books, movies, songs, that you publish for somebody or for anybody else. Or anybody you prevail in a court of law. We have it in spades, and that's why the good people of this country don't know it. It's been kept from them, and we are now into them, and we are now into the millions, as you know. I tried to share this information. March 5th, through Arizona. The government, the medical community, and the medical community. There were 5 cases. There were 5 in all of Arizona. There are now over 509,000 information has been censored here. They absolutely refuse. And so cover it. And that's a death toll that I lay, especially one particular publication in Arizona, to whom this information has been presented. Now, one other element of this, people, the Chinese government did not create this pandemic. We have a lot of information on that. Also, if people will understand how logical what I'm about to tell you, Chinese government, if the Chinese had been behind it, making this pathogen, which is a bioweapon, do you think they would have unleashed it in China first? They would have, if possible, unleashed it here. So what we have, adding enormous unnecessarily to the infections and the deaths, are the conspiracy theories people that are killing people. There's a doctor in New York City. Contacted me back in early April. He saw our information. And he was interviewed by Al Jazeera World News. We have a link to his. And he was endorsing everything. He said, "This is true. This is real. This is true. This is real. This is the best information." He wasn't talking at that point about. He was just talking about how accurate. All of the information is. We have to understand. This is not a conspiracy to wipe everybody out. There are unfortunate conspiracies that will utilize bioweapons against the population. Meier has already given us predictions on that. I implore people. Do not rely on any. What could we call it? Conspiratorial information, because information could cost you literally your life. Cost you literally your life. Cost people their lives already. It's just a tragedy. It's just a tragedy. People like Alex Jones. There are people like Alex Jones utter nonsense. Utter nonsense. Everything you can get an element of everything you anywhere, can get an element and then they wrap it up anywhere, and then they wrap it up stuff that isn't crazy stuff that isn't now, true. That being said, people say now. That being said, people say I have an article on my website. I have an article on my website. Unknown dangers of the vaccine. Unknown dangers. Now it's not because. Now it's not to put something in there to kill you. Put something in there to kill you. Biochips. Billy predicted that in '58. That's what they're going to try and do. That's what they're going to try and do. Necessarily starting here. You don't have to take a vaccine, or you can change. You don't have to take a vaccine, or you can change. That's your decision. But all that you're hearing is some very misleading stuff. In our opinion, very misleading stuff. In our opinion, you asked. Our opinion there it is.
So, what does Meier? How long is this pandemic going to last? Is it going to expand? Is it going to expand? Back in December of last year, I started talking about this. And actually, in January of the I actually did a small on pandemics. Oddly enough, and I don't know if it was predicted on. My behalf, but related to the border. Related to the border, some kids getting sick, back in January, back in January. So, but anyway, what is Meier? What is Meier's pandemic? How long does this pandemic last?
They have said. I'll paraphrase the following. Let me go back to the following. Let me go back to long warned. What they had long warned. If that means the world and its leaders. That means the world and its leaders and its people. Had masked up, locked down, masked up, taken about 3 months, would have taken about 3 months, control the disease, and it wouldn't have been a problem. And it wouldn't have been a problem. As of now, is basically from here on. The death toll over time could reach 500 million. 500 leaders and the people, because the leaders and the people not willing to understand how serious it's being already passed hereditarily transmitted in the womb. Is it not going away? And once a person has it, a lot of people survive it. The recovery is not ever necessarily full. We have what's called now long COVID. We have what's called now long COVID. People February 3rd. They explain all this. They explain recoveries are never complete. Recoveries are never can arise again, and then another illness rise again, or another illness man. So a few months ago, I read an article about basketball player in America who went to play. Now he had COVID. And he went to play. I guess with his team. And he went to do demonstrations or whatever. And he dropped dead on the thing flared up and killed him. The thing flared up and killed him. This is beyond what our scientists know. They're very stubborn and very slow. They want to. They can control this. And they just do this. If they just do this or that. It's not. It's the kind of thing that people are familiar with. This is a modern day. Not the only one we're going to face. Not the only one. And because we did not have the will to control ourselves. Did not have the will to control ourselves. This is being spread now. You had in America. We had the motorcycle rally. 400,000 motorcycles. And then, predictably, within a couple of weeks, all over the country, start all over the country, these people are coming down with this thing. These people are coming down with a long incubation period, up to 3 months. They've gone nowhere. I haven't been anywhere with this disease. Yeah, well, where were you? Yeah, well, where were you 2 months ago? People that are asymptomatic, that are spreading this. This is. The forecast from Meier's information is not really positive. They said you should understand about vaccines. But most of them take years to develop and perfect. Years to develop and perfect these mutations. And of course, they also said scientists to study different blood immune systems if they're going to work towards a really effective vaccines or effective vaccines. They're not taking that into account. They're not taking that into account right now. And it must be taken into account. And it must be taken into account. The immune mutations of the blood groups. None of that. And the blood groups. None of that. And I put that article up on my blog. Article up on my blog. And you will see. Look, they don't give me garbage information. They don't give any garbage information. They don't give any of us garbage information. What they have, the science about vast array of sciences, over decades, has always turned out to be impeccably accurate, never revised, never corrected, never apologized. And that's, we will see. We'll archive your show's archive. We'll archive your show's archive and see how things look. Check back in 3 months and see how things look.
The real time, for real time friend that works as an RN up in New York City, and she's predicting that floors are going to turn into COVID in short order. Or that's what she's been texting. I hope not too, but there are hospitals. That are now already full. That are now already away, or they turn people away, or they make makeshift things. This is no joke. This is no joke. Industrial strength, unprecedented strength in modern times. Not in modern times. There has been a mutation. There has been a mutation pathogen involving a flu virus. This is all virus. Free information on my blog. Free information on my blog. People, I've got pages. I've got 90 articles. I've got 90 articles on the COVID, basically all referring to the information. I have what I call the online COVID test. And a prominent doctor, and a New York prominent doctor, the head of New York City, the Medical Society, New York Medical Society. Your test is very clever. Well, what does that mean? He took my test. What does that mean? He took my test. Every case, and it takes minutes. Every case, and it takes minutes. Nothing to. Every case we publish before all. Every case we publish before all the official sources. We never revise, and we're right because I'm getting it from people who have a much higher level of scientific accuracy. Accuracy. So can't twist people's arms. Can't twist people's arms. True enough. How long will we actually get control? Over this?
Sure. Well, as I said, as April, and they said recently, if we had recently. The 3 month shutdown, the 3 month shutdown. Maybe if the world had said, "Let's fight the world," had said, "Let's fight the bullet," we'd be done now. It's now. There is no for when prognosis. We have it under control. We have it under control. There are waves. Of course, we're thinking. And there are rise up. And by the way, they gave on 2 occasions a month before the final end of the month. End of next month. For the next month, they gave the official statistics. They gave the official statistics on cases and deaths, and they were exactly right. And they were exactly right. And exactly right. So what they're saying here now is quite foreseeable. Quite attainable of this right now because they foretold big wave that would hit Europe and the wave that would hit America and the fact that would be hit again. America, all this stuff they said this is coming for here. These countries this is coming for here. These countries the people are not listening. The people are not wanting to. They don't want to inhibit themselves to gain their freedom back. To gain their freedom back. So everybody yells about, well, you've got the right now to get you've got the right now to get sick. You're free to go and be. You're free to go and expose yourself and expose yourself. That's what you really want. That's what you really want. This is
any talk about Meier about if you do catch the COVID, infected and survive, vast majority of the cases out there. How long are you able not to get infected again? able not to get infected.
Well, that's the thing, and a lot of people. It'd be great if Meier was wrong too. It'd be great if Meier was wrong too. And I hope the people that have it and I hope to never have another problem. Get over it, never have another problem. There are people who already have subsequent problems out of nowhere. Subsequent problems out of nowhere. Some people have died later. The best things we can do. First of all, the information he's got. You have in your world, you've got nutritional stuff you can strengthen your immune system with. They won't prevent an infection, but they will give you more immunity if you also wear masks if you have to be out. Wear masks if you have to be out. Then you can navigate as safely as possible. As safely as possible. Otherwise, we don't have a prognosis because mutating virus, 3-month incubation. You never know then. If you're going to be with other people, everybody needs to have this incubation or quarantine period where there is no exposure to others. Be reasonably known to be disease free, known to be disease free. You keep a contained social system with a few other people. You've got to view everything out in the world. Potential danger where other people are. Danger where other people are. And we're all not trying to hurt each other. Trying to hurt each other. This is the reality. This is where nothing personal at all for anybody. Anybody. This is how to put it. This is the type of thing. Some people say, "Well, I don't see any evidence. I don't see any evidence of 4,000 people. The reports of 4,000 people dying. If people don't grasp that, then they're in denial. And all right, it's okay. Go do that. All right. Was just a report from California the other day. The cases that they are seeing, the majority of no underlying perfectly healthy people getting and dying from it.
Here's some stuff. I retired from. I was actually a regional manager for 5 sleep labs, but I started out as registered. I know CFOs personally, CEOs personally of hospitals. Been in hospital boardrooms. And I know that they get incentivized. If they get incentivized, it's an easy way to get out. They get the easy dime. Get the easy dime. What is it that obviously I know there's incentives out there. There's incentives, money incentives for them to report. Hey, I've got a COVID case here, especially in hospital. That adds charge. They get extra to that charge. They get extra reimbursement.
You're right. Yeah.
So
you're right. Well, let me just say to that. Right. Well, let me just say to that. Whenever there's something that happens, human beings who try to take advantage of misfortune and profit from it. This is age-old. There's no. It doesn't mean there's no. And we will have ample time. And we will have ample time for everybody to say this is real. I think this is real. There are hospitals where this claim that it's COVID when it isn't, claim that it's COVID when it isn't, or when therapies prescribe expensive therapies that won't help. I know I've talked to medical people but actual percentage of that happens. It's pretty low. It's happening. There's no denying that. There's no denying that. These are like ambulance chases. These are like an ambulance chase. There's an accident. These guys rush over to tell you they're going to make you a lot of money. They're going to make you a lot of money. So the hospital, medical people who and a lot of these are high-level administrators. This turns into a cash cow. This turns into a cash cow for them. The government has been ineffective. The president doesn't know his front from backside. I'm not political. I don't care who's in the White House. I don't care who's in the White House because it's all the same thing. Incompetent. And people who go into government and people who go into government or wealthier in the case of the current president and the current president. And occasionally they throw some crumbs. Listen, think about this. They just had this big debate in our government giving You, me, whoever, everybody, $100. These are the people. These are the who go out and have $600 lunch. These are the people who approve. These are the people who approve trillions of dollars to go in overseas in international support. International support. These are the countries who. These are the people who huge military budgets and black military budgets and black trillions of dollars to the tunes of trillions of dollars. It's obscene. It's obscene. It's an obscenity. It's an obscenity. Left and right Republican, any of these Democrats, they would any of these people that they would say, here's $600. Better they should all pardon me. Better they should all pardon me. $600. Go to hell with their $600. And the fact that people in this country are more worried. This country are more worried. There's no conspiracy. Turn your attention. Turn your imbeciles that you elect to rip you elect to rip you off. Money to Saudi Arabia, money to Saudi Arabia, that one, Israel, or this one or that one. This is the money of the people. This is the money of the people. We're going to give you $600. We're going to give you $600. Don't go complain anymore. Don't complain anymore. You know, in days gone by, get dragged out into the street, and they cease to be able to speak about anything anymore. And I'm not anymore. And I'm not. I'm saying when people. I'm saying when people were awake and when they were allowed enough, they've allowed dignity and assault and an assault and they got rid of those people. They got rid of those people. And these people are simply voted back in every time. Voted back in every time. They get up and they tell you how the last person here screwed everything up. Screwed everything up. I'm going to fix it. So I'm going to fix it. So things are obscenely out of balance. And so people they worry here about a conspiracy. They worry here. Oh, this isn't true. I must be lying, right? I must be lying. You didn't trip over any bodies in the street. You didn't trip over any bodies in the street. You know, there's a homeless shelter in our town. There's a homeless shelter in our town. Dying from the homeless and dying from the homeless. Some homeless dying into hotels without telling anybody where they were. Telling anybody where they were. Out of no cases up here. And out of no cases up here over time. On case upon case upon case upon case. Arizona has gone astronomical. From 5 cases to over half a million. Over a half a million. So for those, I'm just looking over. People are telling me. I'm just looking over. People are telling me. I'm lying? Really? I'm lying? Really? About what? I don't. About what? I don't profit from this disease. And in Europe, people are bringing up Europe. In Europe, people are bringing up Europe. Months ago, the people Billy Meier meets with, the people Billy Meier meets with, told him are going to, have the numbers, resurgence first. So the numbers. Here's the thing: people are interested in paranormal. Get interested in the normal. Get interested in the normal. What's factual? Get interested in what's factual. And that might save your life. And that might one of the things there's one of the things there's a young Congress guy or something. There's a young Congress guy or something. He's dead. Elected to office. He's dead. There's a famous doctor on TV, Dr. Drew. Famous doctor on TV, Dr. Drew. Everybody what a hoax for months. Now he just admitted he's got it. Now he just admitted he's got it. So either we get realistic. And look, realistic doesn't have to be the only thing, and that it shouldn't dominate everything, and that moment or dominate every. We can't. We don't have enough. We don't have enough common sense that when we look at stuff. And when we look at stuff, and do you think cities close down? Do you think people really want to close down states? Why would they? That's going to get them voted out of office. That's going to get them voted out of office. Common sense, folks. Common sense, folks. Common sense.
Okay, well, this got a little bit political. But if you're talking about COVID, obviously that was on the political.
Yeah, but it's nonpartisan. Yeah, but it's nonpartisan. We don't care. Nonpartisan. Right or left, Republican, Democrat. Right or left, Throw the bums out. Throw the bums out.
Yeah, well, okay. Next thing I want to talk about, on top of this COVID, is this lesson that we're going to have to learn the hard way, or according to Meier, or what is this a learning experience, or from Meier's point of view, trying to warn us that pay attention to what he's saying?
Well, it's not that pay attention to what I'm saying. It's like pay attention to what I'm saying. It's like dismayed about what they're most dismayed about don't have any common sense. People don't have any common sense. They're seeing the evidence. They're seeing the evidence. You see, just because something doesn't happen, in your neighborhood or something. These people, I know people who've lost relatives. I know people who've got the disease. I know people who have got the disease. You will too in time. You will too in time. And you'll know of them. And hopefully you'll know of them. Get it yourself. And hopefully you don't. So what they've said is unless people stop with the crazy conspiracies, with the going into these protests, maskless, which are now known as super spreader events. Now known as super spreader events. President of the country, his wife, his family, his wife and his family, half the people in his cabinet. We don't get it yet. We don't understand. We don't understand. So no. So here's the thing. They said no. There's another disease that will come up. There's another disease that will come up. They won't tell us what it is. They won't tell us what it is. This has long been in the material. This has long been in the material. There are other diseases that we think we've conquered that are going to resurge now. That are going to resurge now. Here's may appear, and this may appear to appeal to more conspiratorial minded, more conspiratorial minded. But he says Meier was very matter-of-fact. But he says he was told this 70 years ago. He was told this 70 years ago. There will be on the part. There will be on the part of I guess what people call the real power. The real power, crazed people of the world, genetically modified organisms, viruses, etc., that will be used to try to cull. Here's a hint from me. Here's a hint from me. This is only my own thinking. I wouldn't be in such a hurry to send your blood off, to get your DNA tested. I leave that alone. Because I leave that alone. These things are really in the works. And what is going to be coming to our country? The people of this country and the government are going to be imperiled, threatened by anti-government, by non-governmental and non-governmental. We will see that what he's predicted is after certain circumstances, the government of the United States, the government of the military and the police, against what he referred to as heavily armed population. But as far back as 81 and 87, he specifically foretold coming civil wars, coming to America. Now, when I read that, the first time I read the prediction in the 81 prediction in 86, and what's this guy on? I said, what's this guy on? What are we worried about here? Civil war in America? Civil war in America? And then following things a little more closely. Laughing about it. There's no question. You've got crazy people on the left. You've got crazy people on the right, too. You've got crazy people on the right, too. And they're against each other, and against each other, and it's already in the works. It's already in the works. Overturn the election, right or wrong. Overturn the election, right or wrong. I mean, you've got the polarization that's so strong and growing all the time. There will be events that are going to further polarize, that are going to trigger more, that are going to trigger, and that thing that's called civil war, and that thing that's called civil war, as I had said in my film that you saw, key date was 2020, when that was when these things started as to flare up incendiary beginning this coming civil war situation in this country. That's in the material. We don't have to believe it. In the material, we don't have to believe it again about some of this stuff. So what he has said is there are elements in there so-called elite elements that are going to try to do genocide. Certainly learn from the COVID. Certainly learn how to target races and people as the racist people as the affected initially Asian people more, designed for that or not, and those things will come to us. We've made a lot of mistakes. We've really made a lot of mistakes. When people are going to go nuts when I say this. We have overpopulated our world and not controlled it responsibly. We now have elites who perceive that as a reality, and who will say, "Listen, we've got to get rid of a lot of these people." And that's unfortunately something that will come because we didn't get a sense. We didn't get a sense of how to maintain a healthy population without we're not into that. kind of a thing.
That.
And kind of a thing. They show in the Meier material, and they show in the Meier material, and actually, easy for some people to see, very hard for others. Some people to see, very hard for others. When you go to the core of almost any problem we face in the world, you see, it's largely derived from and been exacerbated by strife, conflict, strife, for resource, conflict, for food, for resource, water, for territory, for water, and the result, tremendous tremendous challenges to the environment, Don't want to see that. People don't want to. So what you do is if you start to look at, you can do this yourself. If you start to look at, you can do this yourself at home. You get an aquarium, some plants. You put fish in it. Keep on adding fish. Keep on how long it takes until they're just floating at the top of the thing. Until they're just floating at the top of the thing, because you've exhausted the natural balance, living organisms. And the environment. It's not the environment. It's not a part of Meier. They've been talking about part of Meier. They've been talking about this. They're saying, look, for 80 years. They're saying, we imbalance the planet. We're going to be imbalance the planet. We're going to be having. You talk about predictions. Here's some. You talk about predictions. In 1948, it was told to Meier when he was young. Between 2015 and 2017, there are going to be a series of very strong earthquakes in central Italy. These earthquakes would be the precursor to the eruptions of major Italian. They name them major Italian. They name right now. That's major volcanoes in Italy. And then after that, there'd be eruption in northern Germany. Three of the volcanoes. Earthquakes occurred. First of all, the earthquakes occurred between 2015 and 2017. They have a really good track record. And then three of these volcanoes have already started to become active. We're going to get. Pay attention to. They're not doing it to us. They're not doing it to us. Aren't doing it to us. They are really in sorrow. Whether it's COVID or anything else. That we. We have allowed ourselves to bring this stuff down upon us. This wasn't done to us by any outside forces, aliens, gods, saviors, angels, nothing. This is human beings. We didn't listen. And did they listen? No. There's the answer. So we get to learn over a long period of time, centuries of very, very difficult times for Earth human beings. And we're here now to try and do the best we can.
Okay. I want to ask one question that this actually comes from your documentary, and was a reincarnation of Enoch, Elijah, Isaiah, Jeremiah, and Emmanuel with a J instead of an I. Mm-hmm. How did Meier come upon this knowledge?
Well, this is kind of interesting. It started with his earliest tutoring with the man who was his first teacher, called Sfath, S-F-A-T-H. Now, just to fill it in, Billy Meier, at 5 years of age, he's being raised in a nice rural area of Switzerland, a calm little pretty place, and in circumstances he gets contacted by this man who appeared to be quite elderly, and he begins these learning experiences that last 11 years with this man. Logical means during this period of time, and also some of which are in time. And this logical means, and also some of which are in time. And this is pretty previous. Prophets and times and his connection to them. So what this is based in, if we will. It's called the creational energy, spiritual teaching, what have you, and books of teaching, just like you would study car mechanics or computer technology. It's not a belief system. There's not a religion, not a must thing. What it is, it's a teaching so that people learn how to think logically and not rely on any outside forces as their authorities. So this ability also is something that Meier was quite well trained in how to think, and he got the benefit of being able to see and learn about previous things. What he's taught also is, according to this information, the human being has an eternal, immortal human spirit. Now, that's not the same thing that is people call the soul. The soul doesn't exist either as we know it. The soul is what they call the psyche, which is a nexus, a plexus that is connected to our consciousness, our emotions, and has different functions, but it's transitory. When we die, that psyche dissolves, and it dies too. The human spirit does not die. It goes into what's called the beyond. That's not like a heaven where, Martha and Fred and everybody are gambling around in a field and playing with kites and shit. It's a non-place as far as we're concerned, because we have absolutely no conscious experience or memory of it. The spirit goes into the beyond, and there it is processing everything from the previous lifetime, when we were known by, Shawn or Michael or Jane or Andy or whatever. But those are, if you will, transitory personalities. Every personality is kind of transitory. It's temporary. And then they say that at a certain point, that spirit reincarnates. Another personality is formed. We have no karma. We don't carry blame from a previous life or any of that stuff. What we have is a new life in which we learn again. We get to make our mistakes and our little triumphs and positive progress with an overall destination through evolution, whereby each of these spirits, each of this thing that animates and enlivens us, ultimately re-merges with this creation, this thing that we call the universe. It's a very, very, very long time from now, trillions and trillions of years perhaps, but that's what they're saying they know to be true. They know that they themselves are not perfect beings. They can make mistakes. They try not to, but they do. They haven't made mistakes in science, fortunately, for us, if we want to learn. And that if we realize that the meaning of our life is to evolve our consciousness, to learn, to see this creation, to see life in everything and everybody, and we see the interconnectedness of everything and everyone, whether we like everybody or not and all that, we are all inexorably connected to each other, enlivened by the same fantastic energy and consciousness of this universe. And in each lifetime, we have our ups, we have our downs, we make our mistakes, we do ill, we do well, but we keep trying to improve in each subsequent lifetime. That simple way of looking at it. And many of these gods from the past were extraterrestrials who came here because they could. They're referred to, we hear about the sons and daughters of heaven. Jehovah was a particular being, an actual being who lived and died, who was part of one of the, let's say, if you will, missions or groups that came here from far away, the stars. There have been any number of different beings that have come. There were gods in India that came even before our Judeo-Christian gods. The Jehovah Yahweh is the god, one of the gods of the Hebrews of the time. There was a god during the period of Emmanuel who was falsely named Jesus Christ, who was somebody who never lived. I mean, there is zero historical record. The man's actual name was Emmanuel, and that's what was even said in Isaiah 7:14. And his name shall be called Emmanuel. And in Matthew 1:23, and his name shall be called Emmanuel. It was changed later after his death, which did not occur on the cross. It occurred in India This is, I mean, what kind of crazy heretical stuff? Well, let me just tell you, you can try and figure it out. Study things, question things, ask, struggle with it, or not. But this material is a mission, if you will, a project that's gone on for over 13,500 years, going back to the prophet Enoch, or as they call him, Henoch, who was meeting with the extraterrestrial Pleiadian people of that time, as did Elijah, Isaiah, Jeremiah, Emmanuel, and even Muhammad, who was not someone who married 9-year-old girls. He was actually a liberator of women. He changed the laws at his time, but all of this got screwed up. His teaching is not what's in the Quran. I hate to announce that, but there it is. That was falsified, as have been both the Old and New Testament, according to this information. But we don't have a belief system. We have information. Is it true or not? You don't have to believe it. You're not going to be punished forever in eternity if you don't accept this information. No. You shouldn't do anything other than accept that it exists, and then you can decide or not decide if you want whether you think it's accurate or not. But this is not a punishment-oriented universe. We create our own punishment through the eternally immutable law of cause and effect. Every thought and feeling and action we take produces an effect, and that's one of the core principles in the spiritual teaching, so that we could start to understand how, if we correct the way we think about ourselves, about other people, about the world, we start to get better personal lives, which starts to make for better collective lives. Pretty simple, difficult to do for many, and so we have, according to them, about the next 800 years before that kind of gets learned real well. So what's the rush?
All right. Well, we got about 11 more minutes, maybe. Yep, 11 more minutes till the top of the hour, end of the show. Do you have any final thoughts before we kind of call this a night?
Sure. Well, one thing I want to do is to say, because, you told me, you saw one of my films, and what I want to do is anybody listening at any time who hears the show live or rebroadcast, if they contact me, they mention you or your show, your full name, your first name, whatever, and simply send me the word free in an email, I will send them our documentary that's called The Silent Revolution of Truth, which is considered, I certainly agree, considered by many to be the best nowadays UFO documentary ever made on this case, that we continue to publish on COVID, which is always more accurate published before the CDC and the CDC. Who knows? And come after me for saying that. Come after me for saying that. How many more people have to die? How many more people have to die before they know what they're doing? That they know what they're doing. I think that we have an opportunity. Humankind has an opportunity to learn, not to believe, one way or the other. Because I don't want to have beliefs. I want to have beliefs. I want to know if something I believe isn't true. I want to move on. Because I want to move on. More practical and much more practical and less painful. The fact that you have been willing to explore this, put it out there, and people in your audience, offer some questions, and you have that. I consider that victory for the truth. However, people, whatever they want to do, and whatever they want to do. Want a free film? Send them a free film. I send them a free film. Just are free. We have people just are free. Blog, active, international, people all over the world participate. So it's my thanks that I give to you, and Andrea, who communicated with you. I know that I have communicated with her in getting us put together here. And beyond that, if there's anything else that you have any questions,
how do they contact you? How do they contact you? Theyfly.com or theyfly.com?
Oh, okay. Sure. Here, I'll give you a direct email. And if you don't, PR. The words PR. The letters PR. Like the letters press PR. Like press release. They@fly.com. That gets to me. So does Michael with They Fly. But either way, but if they go to my website or they'll find the blog, the email there too. They'll find a way. And I guarantee it takes me a little while. I'm not like automated email. As soon as you send an email, it can take me overnight. It can take me overnight or a few hours, whatever. I'll send it because I want people to have it. Because I want people to have it. You can see how accurate the information was when we filmed it. We filmed it 14 years ago. 2006. We put out in 2008. And it's a labor of love. It's a labor of love on the part of everybody concerned. I don't know what else to say about it. That's how you reach me, and I'd be just pleased to give you something for free. What else can I do?
All right. Go to theyfly.com. And Michael, the one thing I want to tell you, I am a Christian. I am a Christian. Death experience. Near death experience. Days I was in a coma. I can honestly tell you. I don't believe a word you just last 2 hours.
Well, that's okay. You gave me the opportunity. That's all I can ask. I don't ask anybody to believe any of it. If everybody is in course to their beliefs, their non-beliefs, if people look into the information, check it out and test it, then see how that works out. But the fact that you hold point of view or beliefs or anything else, you allow me to do this. Then in my book, you demand. Anything better.
It's hard to believe. I went through due diligence of watching and researching. And personally, it's hard to swallow most of what Myers is talking about. And I wanted to bring you on, and that's part of the chasing the truth thing. That's got to the end of the show, and I did give you the 2 hours. I honestly do appreciate. And thank you for being on the show. Share, Myers' point of view. His long history. Folks, honestly, Billy Meier has decades that he has published. I think age of 14. Is that correct?
That's correct. That's absolutely correct.
So it's out there. If you want to go out there and chase the truth and look this up yourself, it's all out there. It's all theyfly.com, and that should be the anchor point. You can find all this.
And the blog. And the blog. That's got the most information. Over 1,200 articles. At Theyfly blog. So sure. And if people have questions, challenges, do my best to answer them.
All right. Well, thank you again, Michael Horn. Thank you again, Michael Horn, for being on the show as a guest. I wish you fantastic New Year 2021.
And the same to you, Shawn. Listeners, and again, very gracious of you. I only wish people who hold opposing views were as allow this to be expressed. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you from the Happy New Year to you. And a Happy New Year to you too.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Great evening. Have a great evening and a great rest of this weekend. Be safe. Be safe.
Thank you so much. Talk later. Bye. Bye.
Okay, folks. That was Michael Horn at Theyfly.com. Theyfly.com. Where my guest and he's got Theyfly.com blog too. If you go up to the Theyfly.com, that's the place to go. And as I mentioned at the end of it, I gave this gentleman, and he was gracious enough to come on the show. And I believe. Practically nothing he just said. What he just said. That being said, I wanted to share his point of view. All that fantastic. I don't know. that wedding cake photo. Oh my God. Well, folks, don't take my word for it. Don't take my word for it. Go out to come up with your own opinion. If you believe them, fantastic. If not, fantastic. If not, that's up to you. That's why I brought this show out to share every truth that obviously Michael Horn believes Billy Meier's story. And being said. That being said, folks, I appreciate you. Folks, I appreciate you coming on board and listening to me for 2 hours. And well, let's see. Stimulate. I want to say hi to all the folks out there. That was gracious enough to stick around for 2 hours. We got Stephen Davis over there. Lisa Ray is out there. Razor Wolf down under. Thanks for popping by. Nicoletta Trumpy Bear. That's crazy. Mary Ledbetter. You still don't have your phone. Yeah, I saw that you talked to Chris the other day. He actually told me about it. Hope everything went next week. We're going to do another UFO, but this is actually from a UFO experiencer. His name is actually Mike. That's next week, and we'll have open lines then. And again, thank you for Michael Horn for being on and sharing his side of the truth as he believes. And I appreciate everybody that's listening. Now, folks, if you want to reach me, of course, you can reach me at my show number after hours, 931-997, or you can send me an email, Shawn G, at imdarkwaters.com. And it is amazing. I honestly, the one thing that I'm probably going to have to do is say a lot of prayers after this one. But Stephen, hey buddy. I appreciate you being on board. There. Miss T, I love you to death. But I wanted to get this. Get Michael Horn on here. He shared for entertainment purposes. He shared a lot. So God bless everyone out there. And God bless the United States of the world. And God bless hopefully this COVID thing of the past. In the future. Just wash your hands. Pay attention to your gut. Do your own due diligence about everything. Of course, for YouTube purposes. Cross-references everything. CDC and the World Health Organization. That's the place where you have been said. Wash your hands, mask up if you feel like it. Obviously, pay attention to your local authorities on this. But anyway, folks, I appreciate everybody this entire thing. And again, my guest tonight was Michael Horn. He is the publisher North America for Michael Meier. Not Michael Myers. Excuse me.
A lake in northeastern Canada harbors a legendary monster. The descriptions match
on the night of the 21st of February, 1978, on a residential street in Mexico City, a group of workmen were digging through the hard asphalt of the road.
Stories of gigantic eels.
They worked for the Mexico City Electric Company, and their job was to run cables across the street and through the whole neighborhood.
It's almost the
At first, it seemed like just another day at work. But then, just over 2 meters into the earth, their diggers struck something. It was an enormous piece of stone. And as they excavated further around it, they saw that this stone was carved in ornate and intricate patterns. They quickly notified the archaeologists